Hello, I must talk about this topic very quickly. I do not believe Bob Arum is going to leave HBO. He was not happy with HBO because they kept trying to matchmake for him. So he said that he would stop working with HBO as frequently last year during the interview that came out June 18, 2015. However, that has not happened yet. I have only seen Bob Arum try to leave HBO 2 times. One time was early on this year, February 25th, 2016. An article came out about Bob Arum trying to get Vasily Lomachenko versus Nicholas Walters on Showtime. He had spoken to Steven Espinoza, who basically works at Showtime, and he said that he talked to Bob Arum as well about getting top-ranked fights on Showtime. Showtime believes that Bob Arum has a great stable of fighters. These two were going to work together, but Walters turned down the fight with Lomachenko because he felt he was not getting paid enough. So I believe that stopped the momentum of Bob Arum going to Showtime during that time period. The second time was just 3 months ago. September 2nd, 2016, articles came out that day about Bob Arum wanting to leave HBO and go to Showtime. He talked about leaving HBO during that time period because he thought HBO was going to cut their boxing programming after they turned him down for November 5th. He found out later on that was not the case. The date was the problem. They did not want a big pay-per-view to happen 2 weeks before the Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward fight. They wanted those two to have the month of November to themselves as the biggest fight. I would not believe any reports about Bob Arum leaving HBO to go to Showtime from any source of media until he actually does it, because I believe Bob Arum is actually going to continue working with HBO. He said that he was stunned that they turned him down for the November 5th date, but he did not get angry about it. He actually said that if he decided to work with a network again, he would not leave HBO. He would choose to work with HBO over the other networks. So obviously he does not have any problems with HBO and he is fine with them. Now, Bob Arum sold 300,000 pay-per-views and he was happy about it. People weren't exactly sure why he was happy about that number because that is a low number. He was happy with that number because he did not get help from HBO. On April 9th, 2016, the pay-per-view show that Bob Arum put on HBO that day sold 400,000 to 500,000 pay-per-views. So if you can sell what he just sold in November without HBO, then you don't need HBO anymore. This shows that people are following the fight itself and the fighters more so than the broadcasting network, the broadcasting platform, or the network itself. The people are following the fight, so they are going to go to whoever is providing the fight. Bob Arum did not get any help from a major network. He got help from Time Warner Cable and some other companies, but not a major network like HBO or Showtime. So he promoted and put on his own pay-per-view. Besides the main fight, he had Nonito Donaire, who was pretty popular on the show, and he had Zhao Shiming, who was very popular in China, fight on the show as well. So he had some good names on the pay-per-view, considering that he did not have a network to help him out. But that is why he was happy about the pay-per-view number, because he didn't get any help from HBO. Now, this obviously may cause some more ego problems among boxing promoters, and it's not good because it has gotten to a point now in boxing where boxing promoters, they have to work together now. They can't be separate and stay to themselves. They have to work together. Them seeing this is going to possibly make them more selfish and not work together, because Bob Arum just proved to the other promoters that they do not need a network anymore to sell pay-per-views. I have not seen anyone talk about this yet. They may talk about it later on, but I noticed it now, so I'm talking about it right now. I'm pretty sure that the other promoters just saw what Bob Arum did. If you can build a boxer up to a superstar status, then you can leave the major network and promote your pay-per-view by yourself and sell very well. I'm sure that the other promoters saw that. And I'm not sure how this will affect Jim Lampley, Roy Jones, and Max Kellerman. Now, will they have to work for Bob Arum now? This is going to be very different for everybody. So, this is interesting, and I'll keep watching the situation. But I'm still happy knowing that promoters must still work together. We have Terence Crawford, who is going to fight John Molina Jr. December 10th, 2016 on HBO. It's going to be a good fight. Terence Crawford is a Bob Arum fighter, and Molina is a Al Haymon fighter. So for the first time, we'll see Bob Arum versus Al Haymon. I'm happy about that. That's good for us. This will be the first time these two meet. Felix Diaz, who is also an Al Haymon fighter, was chosen or confirmed by HBO to fight Terence Crawford, but he wasn't chosen because he's not as known. Bob Arum wants Terence Crawford to be a superstar. So he wants Terence Crawford to fight big names, and Molina was more known than Felix Diaz, even though he did fight Lamont Peterson, 18-1, good fighter, also confirmed by HBO. He was not as popular as John Molina Jr., who had the fight of the year with Lucas Matisse in 2014. Molina has fought bigger names, period. So that's what Bob Arum's after with Terence Crawford. Big names and popularity. Money, too. So these two are going to fight. I think Terence Crawford is a very good fighter. I saw him early on. Was very impressed with him. He moved a lot more then. I made a video about him when people were not really talking about him then, but he was different as a fighter. He moved a lot more. He stopped doing that because he wanted to be more appealing to the people. So that's good for him. You know, unfortunately, you're going to get hit more. So you must bring him up through the weight classes a lot slower to make sure that he does not get hit by a bigger fighter and get knocked out. So I do believe that he will be brought up through the weight classes a lot slower, and that's good for him. I'm happy that he has been successful up to this point, and I believe that he will defeat Molina tonight. It'll be a good fight, but I think he's going to beat him and move on to bigger, better fights. Now, keep in mind, Bob Arum and Al Haymon are trying to get rid of each other. They're going to say they're friends. Well, I know Bob Arum, he already said that he does like Al Haymon. You know, he's smart and etc. But they are trying to get rid of each other, and I know this because Al Haymon, this is competition. His objective was to get rid of the other promoters, and Bob Arum saw this, and now he is going after Al Haymon. I know this because he wanted Jessie Vargas to fight Danny Garcia. Jessie Vargas would have gotten a popularity an exposure boost if he had fought Danny Garcia early on this year, and he would have given Danny Garcia a good fight. So that's one fight. But then Bob Arum also wanted Terence Crawford to fight Adrien Broner. We all know Adrien Broner cannot defeat Terence Crawford. So Bob Arum, he is playing chess. He is trying to set up fights where he knows his fighters can win, and he can beat Al Haymon's fighters and profit off of this. Now, Al Haymon is very smart because he did not feed into the Terence Crawford versus Adrien Broner fight. That was very smart because you don't want people to hype that fight up, and then you must give it to him. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be very competitive, but hopefully these two continue to work together, and we see them work together with other promoters. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you all for watching this video today. Have a great day. More to come from me. Bye.